Hey everyone, Nathan of Hey Poor Player here, and I'm here to give you guys the video part 1 of our GDC coverage for 2017. This was not only my first year of going to GDC, but also Hey Poor Player's first time covering the event in person. Now, I am the only person who lives in the San Francisco Bay Area, so I was the only person who was able to come out and cover it. So I was a one-man video writing crew for the whole thing, and man, it was really fun. A lot of anxiety at first, but super fun towards the end of it. For those unaware, GDC stands for the Game Developers Conference, and what it is a place where industry professionals and game developers can kind of come together and network and meet and inspire each other. Now, I had the luxury of going as press, which means I had access to all of the GDC and VRDC panels, booths, and etc. The beautiful Moscone Center in San Francisco, California was the battleground of GDC, and I want to share with you all my experiences there. Now, disclaimer, I will not be covering everything I did in this one video. I will be doing it in parts because there was just so much to cover. I got to go to a lot of demos and booths, and some of it wasn't necessarily tied to GDC. What my hope is for these next couple of videos is to kind of give you a general synopsis of all the things I got to go to, and kind of give you an idea of what it was like to be at GDC, as well as the things that were shown there. So without further ado, let's get on with the games and the panels, because that's what you really care about. The sound and music of Hyper Life Drifter was the very first panel I had the luxury of going to. The speakers were the sound designer and the music composer of the game, and it was just super cool to hear them talk about the creative process that they went through when they were in development. There was a lot of collaboration and experimentation that was brought forward when producing the game, and it shows with the talk. And one of the things that kind of stood out to me was that they highlighted this whole aspect of creative freedom and experimentation and making weird sounds and sort of kind of fitting into the theme of Hyper Light Drifter as a game in general. They also talked about the working relationship between everyone and the producer and the creative director, and how while the creative director had a vision, he very much listened to the whole team and very much took criticism and suggestions. And they also kind of mentioned how that managerial style doesn't necessarily work for all games, but it worked for them especially well. I think if you're an audiobook, you will definitely appreciate this more than most people, but if you're a fan of Hyper Life Drifter, I definitely recommend checking out this panel. If you're not a fan, I still think it's a cool panel from a game design standpoint and a sound design standpoint. Something of note is that all of these panels that I'm mentioning will be on the GDC vault at a later time. I don't know exactly when, but I will keep you updated on when the public has access to these panels. Slime Rancher is one of my favorite games on Steam. Something about cute anime blobs just appeals to me personally, and I got to go to a panel about Slime Rancher and emergent storytelling. Nick Palpovic, I hope I'm saying that correctly, the co-founder of Monami Parks, who is developing Slime Rancher, had a talk about how emergent storytelling helped Slime Rancher achieve the success it did, but also how emergent storytelling could help games in general. So the way he described emergent storytelling, and I'm kind of paraphrasing it, is that emergent storytelling is sort of the stories that the player tells within the systems of the game, but the game designer did not intend them. An example he gave is EVE Online, where EVE Online, you play within the rules and the boundaries of the game given to you, but everything you do is your own actions. The designer didn't intend for you to do certain things, but you can do them anyway, and that's what emergent storytelling is. And the reason he believes emergent storytelling is so powerful is because it's you making a story, and it's your personal story, and it's in most cases far more interesting than what a game designer can design and intend for you to kind of play through. And it's cool because emergent storytelling is such a powerful thing, and I feel like it's something that developers don't necessarily look at. A lot of people focus on spectacle, pre-made spectacle, and it's just as powerful to have something that you didn't intend to be there to just be there, and that is a super cool thing. Also helps that I super like Slime Rancher again, so yeah, I definitely enjoyed the talk, and yeah, very cool. Slimes are super cute, by the way. So this GDC, I got to try a lot of VR, and man, there was just a lot of it. I mean, even compared to last year, VR has improved so much, and I feel like it's making more of an impact in the industry. I think the entry into VR is still really high, and not a lot of people can get into it because it's just such a financial sink. But developers are showing that VR still has a future, and it's really promising of what they've been showing. One company in particular I got to try out was called VIR Zoom, and what it is essentially it's a company that wants to make VR games in tangent with an exercise bike, and this exercise bike is actually produced by former Harmonix members, people who made Guitar Hero and such, and they're used to peripherals. And to my surprise, the VIR Zoom bike was actually really high quality. It felt sturdy. It felt like it was made to be used for long periods of time and not be crappy and break down. So that's important. When you're making a peripheral product, the peripheral needs to be good, and it's really, promising that they put a lot of effort into it. One example is I played a tank game, and you aimed with the VR headset, and you kind of moved your head back and forth and such, but you moved with the bike by pedaling, and that isn't like an exercise game. You're not it's not you exercising really, at least you don't think it, and it's a real game. So the point of the project is that they want to make games and they want to encourage you to exercise, but they don't want to be a kind of on the nose exercise game, and that's super cool. And I think this is really promising. I got a workout out of it. It probably just means I'm super out of shape, but I enjoyed it for what it was. And I mean, I got to fly a unicorn in VR by pedaling, so that's something, right? So another game I got to try out at GDC was Lamplight City. Fun fact about the creator of the game, Francisco Gonzalez. It was very nice meeting you, Francisco, by the way. We had to tweet each other about where to meet because we just got lost, and it was because GDC is so packed and there's 4 buildings, so super weird and awkward. But thank you, Francisco, for working with me, and I'm glad I got to try your game. So in Lamplight City, you play as a detective named Miles Fordham, and the plot of the game is that your partner died while you two were trying to solve a case, and now you can hear your partner's voice, and it's not really clear of whether he's actually there or if you're just crazy. But the point of the game is that you want to avenge your partner by finding the man who killed him, while at the same time trying to solve all these cases that are kind of interwoven in the story. And while they are their own right, just their own single cases, they don't really have to affect anything. They do affect how the ending goes, because and something Francisco brought up is that he wanted consequence to be a very big thing in the game. Essentially, you can be bad at your job and you'll still go through the game. It won't give you a fail signal, and then it'll just wait for you to pass, and then you'll move forward. If you fail, you fail, and that's totally fine. You can totally beat the game. Technically, you can get an ending by being bad at your job, but it will reward you if you are good at your job. And the whole point of this is that consequence matters, and how you should really pay attention, and how you will get an ending. It may not be the one you want, but you will get one. And I kind of like that. I also really enjoy the setting very much. Lamplight City takes place in an alternate United States where the United States never really formed and the colonies never revolted, so it's still part of England, and they still follow the king and such, and it's this 1800s steampunk sort of alternate history, and it's a really cool setting with a really cool pixel art style that I kind of dig. Overall, Lamplight City is super promising. I like the story, I like what I got to see and play of it. It's a cool adventure game that takes out sort of the monotony that I don't personally like in adventure games, and kind of does something cool with it with a cool setting. So yeah, thank you again, Francisco, and yeah, hopefully next time we meet or do an interview, I don't have to tweet at you to find you, so. So the whole point of Anamorphine is that you play a character and you go through his memories, which involve his wife, and his wife has depression after going through an accident, which is unexplained in the demo I played, but apparently something happened with her and she is going through depression. And the whole point of the game is that you are going through these memories and you're kind of trying to figure out what happened to them and what's going on between them, and then it sort of revolves around the idea of like her depression along with your guilt of not being able to help her through her depression. And it's super dark and weird, but the art style is so cool and it kind of weirdly juxtaposes it, but not. In terms of art style, it's very eerie, but it matches thematically with everything. And also, it's really interesting because, like I said before, it's like a Salvador Dali painting. Like, there's these weird use of like perspective and like transition, and it's really, really cool. It's a game with a dark tone, but I kind of enjoy that, and I feel like games like this do have their place. Games, you know, like I went to GDC and I played a lot of games that were just like, you know, like sort of like popcorn movies where they're just supposed to be enjoyed and, you know, you're supposed to have fun. But, you know, games that can tackle a serious manner and do it with such finesse, such as this game did, makes me super excited. And I can't recommend this enough. I can't wait for the full release. So yeah, Anamorphine, Salvador Dali Depression. Go figure. Thank you so much again for watching and dealing with my face and my voice. I am very sick. I caught the horrible GDC cold, and I still have to do videos, and I'm gonna do these videos. Part 2 will come out shortly. I don't have a set time on these videos. They'll just come out as fast as I can produce them. Again, I'm a one-man video crew. But that wraps up this part 1 of our GDC coverage. There will be more. I will have a link to the full article of this video down below. And I'll also, when those come up, I will include all the other parts as well as some other demos that I got to try while I was at GDC. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day. More GDC goodness coming your way.